What is data science? Data science is a rapidly growing field that seeks to interpret data in its various forms for businesses. The task has been extremely important ever since the days of the digital revolution, when the floodgates for data creation were thrown wide open. Data is now being created at such an alarming rate that it is no longer easy for any single discipline to analyze the bulk of it. Hence, this new discipline draws from a number of fields, like statistics and computer science, to automate the interpretation of big data. How big is all this data, you ask? To say that data is big in the modern world is a gross understatement. The last few years have seen an unprecedented increase in the creation of digital data. Did you know that over 90% of all data that exists in the world today was created within the last decade? Some reports claim that more data was created in the last 2 years than in the rest of human history. By 2020, every human being is expected to create a little over 1.5 megabytes per second. And by 2025, the sum of all digital data is expected to reach a staggering total of 180 zettabytes, or over 1,600 trillion gigabytes. If these numbers don't tell you how big data really is in the present world, here's more. 73% of all businesses in the world had already invested in or made plans to invest in big data by 2016. A company in the Fortune 1000 could rake in about $65 million in revenue with just a 10% increase in data accessibility. And estimates suggest healthcare costs in the U.S. could be reduced by as much as $300 billion every year if big data can be better utilized. That's almost a $1,000 reduction for every man, woman, and child in America. According to the New York Times, this hot new field promises to revolutionize industries from business to government, healthcare to academia. Backed by the banking, manufacturing, governmental, and service sectors, revenue from big data and analytics is expected to increase exponentially from $130 billion in 2016 to being over $200 billion in 2020. But despite all the hype surrounding this emerging field, there is an acute shortage of data scientists in the market today. Less than 0.5% of the data we produce is really paid attention to or analyzed. Banks are said to utilize only a third of the data that they sit on, and most organizations are still working their way to maximize their data analytical potential. These figures are hardly surprising when we consider that the job of a data scientist didn't even exist a decade ago. A recent study by McKinsey Global Institute concluded that by 2018, the U.S. alone could face a shortage of around 150,000 professionals with deep analytical skills, and over 1.4 million managers with the know-how to interpret big data in order to make key